getting the trade rescinded, or rather, they rescinded the trade for Mark Williams. Also, Jimmy Butler debuted today for the Warriors, and Anthony Davis had his debut. So let's talk about it. So first, let's talk about Mark Williams, and he's not going to the Lakers anymore. So basically, this is a very tricky situation. So when the news came out, maybe it was like an hour ago or so, that the trade was rescinded, I'm like, it must be that Mark Williams failed his physical, because I couldn't think of any other reason as to why the trade would get rescinded, right? So it is, now reported that the Lakers rescinded the trade because of them failing Mark Williams on his physical. And apparently it is not because of his back. It is a different reason, like multiple concerns that they found that they haven't disclosed to us. So this is not good news for the Lakers for a few reasons. One, they literally traded for Mark Williams so they could have a lob threat, like a type of player that Luka likes to play with, because he had Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, and those are the type of centers he likes to play with. So they specifically went out to get Mark Williams for that reason. So that's already a negative, just in the sense of like, it is not good for what Luka wants to do, right? So that's already a negative right there. But in addition, they were already thin at the center position. Like you heard AD, he was, complaining and asking for another center on the roster for months, even years, since like Dwight has been gone, Dwight and JaVale McGee. So they didn't do that when AD was there. So imagine now with AD gone, like they are very, very thin at the center position. And so the trade deadline is over. They can't trade for anybody else. On the buyout market, there isn't really many centers available either. So the Lakers are going to have to try to mask their front court issues. And all I'm going to say is they better not, if you're a Laker fan, you better hope they don't have to face Denver in the first round again, because Jokic is gonna eat. Now, I've talked about how the Denver Nuggets should have made a trade. Like, I don't know if they tried to and they just couldn't get something done, but like, they are very thin on their bench. That is not breaking news. And I don't think right now, they have a chance because they have Jokic, right? But like, I wouldn't pick them as my favorite to win the championship or to come out of the West. But against the Lakers, they've had the Lakers number. And the fact that the Lakers did not get any kind of rim protection or a lob threat like we just talked about for Luka, now it's going to be Jokic eating all day, even with their thin bench. I'll have to see how LeBron and Luka look together before I make a decision on who I think would win that series. But right now, I don't know. I think Jokic might be able to average like 40 and 15 and like 10 assists, and he might win that series despite not having as deep of a roster as, the Lakers might have. Someone said they couldn't risk it due to Mark's injuries. It's fine, Rui at center. Well, Rui at center, I mean, he could play that sometimes, I guess, but like at the same time, and I completely understand they couldn't risk it for Mark's injuries. Like if they found that they didn't think he could be healthy for the rest of this season or the next couple of seasons, like I understand. But I'm just saying at the same time, they don't have any opportunity to go get somebody else. The trade deadline is over. So that is where they're in a tricky situation, as well as the fact that like now you have to bring back Dalton Knecht and Cam Reddish. And I know that all the NBA players know, it's a business. It's not necessarily personal. But at the same time, like, think about how they feel. They have to come back into the Laker locker room. And they were just traded. Like, who knows? Like, maybe they were already in Charlotte. So, like, that's very awkward. That's a very awkward conversation and situation. We see what's going on with the Phoenix Suns. Now, Kevin Durant is obviously a different, player than Dalton Knecht. But, like, there are reports that the Suns locker room is toxic now because of the KD trade rumors and Bradley Beal. So imagine actually getting traded, literally thinking you're traded. You're already on the plane to Charlotte, and now you have to come back. And then obviously the same thing for Mark Williams, but it's a different situation because the Hornets are not currently competing for a championship. So I'm just saying from that aspect, it's going to be an awkward conversation to say the least. So that's what I think about the Lakers situation. Let's see if they can get somebody on the buyout market. We'll see. And then Jimmy Butler debuted today for the Warriors. Now, I said this on my live stream yesterday, I think, that I saw a lot of analysts saying that they didn't think the trade was either good for the Warriors or that it moved the needle for them at all. And I just could not understand that thought process. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, of course. I'm not here to disrespect anybody's opinion, but I just can't understand that because Jimmy Butler has carried 2 teams to the NBA Finals. And one of those teams was only 2 years ago. It's not like we're talking about 10 years ago he did this. This was 2 seasons ago, less than 2 seasons ago. And then obviously the 2020 Finals. But Jimmy Butler has carried a team to the NBA Finals. Now, I completely understand, and I am not undervaluing what everybody else on the team did. Gabe Vincent was awesome in the playoffs. Caleb Martin, everyone was doing their thing. But Jimmy was the clear-cut #1 option, leading the team. Was going crazy in the first round against Giannis. Went crazy against, every single round, basically. And he got hurt, too. He hurt his ankle in the Knicks series, I think. Or he hurt it right before the Knicks series. So, he was also playing hobbled. And he was still doing his thing. So, to me, we know playoff Jimmy. He got that name for a reason. So, to me, it didn't make sense that... again, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I just couldn't understand how someone could say that the Warriors were not better. And in his debut, if you did not watch the game tonight, the Warriors were down 24 points in the third quarter. I think halfway through the third quarter or something like that. They were down 24 points. And then all of a sudden they turned it around. I don't know what the stat ended up being, but they went on a 60-10 run, something crazy, or 50-10 run. They went from being down 24 to winning the game by 21. That's the kind of run they went on. And a lot of that was Jimmy. He was amazing in his debut. I think he had 25 points. He was 7-12 from the field. He was very efficient. And the one thing that Jimmy brought that I think people were undervaluing is his ability to get to the free throw line. Something that the Warriors have struggled with is getting to the free throw line. Now, Jonathan Kuminga was starting to, do that for the Warriors and impose his will and, forcing the refs to call fouls, driving to the basket and stuff like that. But the Warriors, haven't been a team, at least in recent, seasons, where they get a ton of foul calls. Steph Curry gets so disrespected. He does not get the fouls that he deserves. But even besides that, just in general, they're not a foul-heavy team. And sometimes you just need someone to get to the line. Sometimes you just need to stop the clock and get to the line. Jimmy Butler had 11, 12, 13 free throws, something like that. And so that is a very, very, very important aspect that he is going to bring to the Warriors. Besides everything else he does, he fit right in, by the way. It looks like a seamless fit. But that is something that definitely is going to help them. And then obviously we know his defense, his IQ, and everything he does. So look out for the Warriors. I really like this trade for them. And then we'll talk about Anthony Davis's debut, which is a very sad moment for Mavs fans. I completely understand. So for Mavs fans, they're already not happy about trading Luka, of course. But Anthony Davis, he didn't want to let the fans down. And he came out firing. I think he ended up finishing the first half with 25 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks, some kind of stat where he was the first player to do that since the 1970s, something really crazy. So Anthony Davis was serious about trying to play really well. And to be honest, I was he's probably going to be really focused because it's not that the Mavs fans don't like AD. It's just that they're, really sad about trading Luka. It's not necessarily personal that they're not welcoming AD necessarily the way that they would have if he came in free agency or something, right? So, like, I think Anthony Davis felt a responsibility to prove to Mavs fans, like, listen, I know you're sad, but, like, I am that guy, right? So, like, he came out in the first half firing. So he was showing, like, okay, like, the fans probably liked what they saw. And then in the third quarter, he goes down with a non-contact injury, which we really don't want Anthony Davis to get hurt. Like, I wish he would stay healthy. But this is exactly what I and everybody else was saying who, when the Mavs made the trade, was that they're concerned and complaining about Luka's conditioning. They don't know if he'll be able to stay healthy. And then it's like, I don't even want to say right on cue because that's just like such a sad thing to say. But like literally, in Anthony Davis's debut, he gets injured. And the thing that we were all saying is like, how could you say that about Luka when you're trading for a player who has had more injury history than Luka? Like, many more injuries. And Anthony Davis has missed a ton of time throughout his career with injuries. So that's why it didn't make sense, you know, to the majority of us. Also, the fact that he's also older, so like, the older you get, the harder it takes to recover from injuries, but he's still, you know, a professional athlete. So like, you know, he has the best trainers and stuff like that. But the point is, like, we all kind of saw this, unfortunately, like, we saw that this is a possibility, that this could happen. And it happens in the debut. Now, it's reported that the injury is not serious and he shouldn't miss a ton of time, but, like, I can't even imagine what Mavs fans were thinking when they saw him go out. Like, I can't imagine. Like, I felt so bad for Mavs fans when I saw that happen because I was like, obviously I felt bad for AD too, right? But I'm just saying, like, I felt so bad for Mavs fans because I was like, oh no. Like, they already are upset that Luka's gone. And again, thankfully the AD injury is not serious. But can you imagine if it was like a season-ending injury? I can't even imagine. I can't imagine what the Mavs fans would have thought. Someone said, did Mark Williams get traded back? Yeah, he did. I talked about it earlier in this stream, so make sure you go back and watch the live stream on replay. Woohoo! But yes, the Lakers rescinded the trade because they found issues in his physical. Someone said, apparently AD only had a spasm or a cramp, but next time it can be worse. Well, I didn't see that it was a spasm or a cramp, but I'll definitely go look after this to confirm that because you may be right. I saw that it was just like something not serious, but like it might keep him out a couple of games, but I will definitely double check after this video. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, people were holding their breath when that happened. Like, that's to say the least. So if AD comes back and plays the way that he was playing in the first half, though, that is definitely something, at least, you know, exciting for Mavs fans. I know that they are not going to be happy, though, because Luka is not there. And Luka is who he is, right? I saw something online that made me feel like extra sad for Mavs fans because I saw someone say when the trade happened, like, you know, everyone was giving their opinions and stuff like that. And I saw someone say, like, he was supposed to have a statue outside the arena with Dirk. And now he's likely going to have, like, assuming that he stayed with the Lakers for the rest of his career, this person was saying, now he gets a statue outside the Lakers stadium. And I was like, oh, like that is a tough pill to swallow. Like, that's tough. So, shout out to, and also Luka is supposed to debut on Monday, I think. That's the target date. So, let's see how Luka and LeBron look together. It'll definitely be an interesting combination. But thank you guys for joining this live stream. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you guys soon. Bye!